All right, I'm going to talk loudly. I am in Sarasota, Florida at my sister Kim's house. I've been here for the last, almost 3 weeks. This is her backyard, and I'm coming over to get some photos of things I would like to paint and sketch when I leave. I'm leaving in a few days, and then I'm going to try to get back to my regular schedule of painting and posting once a week. But we put my father, who was 92 and a half, he would have been 93 in November. We put him in hospice, and we saw him pass peacefully on to his next adventure. And we've been doing a lot of family visiting and arguing. We're a big family with an Italian father, and we all have a tendency to think that our opinion is the correct one. So there's a lot of going on, and I've been sketching and doing a little bit of line and wash, but I have not been doing any recording or actual real painting. That's not true. I put a couple things on Instagram, but nothing I want to really have out there. But my sister's yard, Florida being the way it is, has such a different beauty. And I absolutely want to paint and sketch everything I see, but it is 1,000 degrees out here. Actually, it's early in the morning, and we're going for our walk. We're all bringing the dog for a lap, and a slow lap, and then we're going on to do some. But we have to go very early before it gets too hot. And this is the Alamanda. I think she said Alamanda, or it could be Alameda, but I don't think so. And then this thing, which I don't remember the color, but the name, but the colors are just, oh my gosh, I want to paint everything I see here. Her yard is just spectacular. She's been living in this house, I don't know, a long time. Gardening in Florida, though, I tell you what, it's been 93 to 94 degrees here with, as I like to say, 1,000% humidity, because Florida is so humid. Anyway, here's my little lizard buddy. He sits up there, and I don't know, it must be a good spot. I'm walking towards him. Lizards everywhere here. This is, I think, called an anole, or anole, A-N-O-L-E is how you, but I'm coming up to him, and he's just very patient with me. I tried to draw him earlier, but he was not cooperative. He kept turning. I can't believe I think he thinks I don't see him. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Bye, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess with your day. Anyway, all right. Well, this has been a long intro, but I will use it to do something and be back home to Oregon in a few days to see my family, whom I haven't seen in a long time. I want to get this lantern. And one of these lanterns she has is my father's from when we were growing up. It's a Japanese lantern that we've had on our I don't know where it is, but I'll go around here. I might break this up into 2 videos and use one of them. In any case, I just love her yard. And it's just what a Florida yard should be. Oop, more lizards. They're everywhere. I saw one eaten by a bird the other day, and I know the bird has to eat, but I was kind of brokenhearted. All right. I'm going to sign off. This is one I've been trying to sketch. This is a Royal Poinciana, and oh my goodness, look at the colors of this thing. It's just wacky. I love it, though. Oh, okay. Off to go walk the dog. So I thought I would just do a quick flip through of the work that I did while I was in Florida. So let me show you what I did. The first thing I did before I left within a day of making my ticket. So I threw together just this quick little sketchbook. I used some Artist's Rough, 140 pound, and I just threw together a little sketchbook. And this I made before I left. This was at a rose garden, and I haven't actually finished that. That's just a bench there. But of course, you know, I did my little supply kit that I brought with me. This is my sister's entryway, and I haven't finished this one. This one was the teacup I gave her, and a tea bag for some organic tea. And that was a little still life I set up just so I could do a sketch that day. These are her lanterns. She has a lot of antique stuff. I'm gonna move this a little closer so I just, maybe I'll edit that out. I don't know. Anyway, she has a lot of antiques. She and her husband have a lot of antiques and things, and this was out on her back porch. So I sketched that. And then this was a day when I was just feeling like tequila might be the answer. And this was a bottle of Patron that my brother-in-law has. So that was the painting. And then this sketchbook is something that I actually have had in Florida that I had left there, and I had started using it almost as a diary, and I had done about 4 pages, and then I was like, what am I doing? Now I'm doing all this watercolor, and I'll use the sketchbook and see how it works. So that's just, that was a drink, and this is a guy at the airport, and some shell that I actually sketched last June when I was there, June before last, and I had done this writing, I erased it all, and I just decided to use this for watercolor sketchbook. So that's that. I think hopefully the shadow of this light is not, yeah, I can tell. Let me see if I can move it a little bit. And anyway, the paper, it's not watercolor paper, but it isn't the worst paper in the world. I got this book, I don't remember how much I paid, but knowing me, probably not much. I got it at a bookstore, maybe Barnes & Noble or something, I don't know. And it's not watercolor paper, but it's not really that bad for watercolor. However, one thing I did decide to do is not use both sides of the paper. So I'm just using one side of the paper. This was, I had done a triptych. It's on my Instagram, which is s.ranellearts, the same thing as my channel. But I had done a triptych of cherry blossoms for my nephew and his fiance. And this is Hobie. Hobie's on Instagram. This is my sister's, he is a Wheaton Scotty. So usually Scotties are black, or I think maybe not white, but anyway, he's a wheat colors, and he's just the sweetest dog. He's such a cool, chill dog. And this is a plant I sketched. This, don't even look at, we just go through that. This was a nautilus I had bought for my son, and I just tipped it on its side and wanted to mostly get the colors. That was just a quick thing I did. And I brought the nautilus home to him. This is a teapot at my sister's house, my other sister's house. And this is my sister Andrea. She lives up in Tampa, where my father was, the nursing home was. And this is another teapot that she had. And then my sister and I were feeling like we needed to go to C'est La Vie, the French bakery, and have some desserts and some coffee while we waited out the rain when we were dealing with our Comcast Xfinity business. So I had a raspberry passion fruit mousse, and she had an apricot croissant, and we both had some yummy coffee. This is Kathmandu, or BFB, and he was having a little bath. He is this beautiful, beautiful black cat, but I made him purple for some reason. I don't know why. He was giving himself a little bath, and then he wouldn't stay still, so I had to sketch it really fast. Nothing there. One of the flowers in Kim's garden, it's Mandevilla. This was the Alamanda, that's in the opening, and took some pictures of it. I want to do a real painting, but this was just a quick sketch. There's my little buddy. He kept moving, and I was trying to get him real fast, and then I did a close-up of his hind leg because I don't know what was happening there, but then I decided to slow down and try to get a close-up of his leg. This was cheeseburger that I sketched out of a magazine, and that's my dad. I'm going to go over that real fast because I think I'm going to come back to that and paint that. That was a picture of my dad in the Navy, so that'll be my next one, I think. This is a dragonfly candle holder that's on my sister's wall. this is the park where we would go and take the dog. We'd take Hobie for a walk around, one lap around, then we'd get our exercise. It was so humid. One morning I got up early, and even before coffee, I came out and I just made a few of these sketches. So these are the last ones almost. This is the pond where they have a really beautiful fountain, and this was about 7:30 in the morning, so it was still nice and cool. These are some little orange berries that had some yellows and greens, and I think the mature berry is orange, but they looked a lot like little orange fruits on a tree. It was really cute. And then while I was sitting there doing this sketch, this little guy was eating a French fry from the garbage can. He was running in and out of the garbage can and sitting there eating a French fry, so I sketched him real fast. This was funny. It's a cool idea. The park, the community has these compost bins, and in this one they keep like dried compost, dried leaves, and then all of these, you bring your compost in and you actually weigh it and you put it in, and then when the compost is ready, you get a percentage, whatever percentage you put in of the weight, you get a percentage out, and then you can use it in your own garden. And you can see from the beginning, my sister's garden's just wonderful, so I love it. The trees along this park are so cool, but they're often just covered in, well, this one was covered in 3 different kinds of vines, so I just did a quick sketch. I was standing there, it was hot, the bugs weren't too bad for this sketch, but they were for this one. There was a gnat that would not leave me alone. I tried to do it as quickly as possible. This one I was in the shade and they didn't seem to be bothering me, but there were just so many cool vines, and it's just a gorgeous park. I love it. That's that candle holder again, and this is some kind of decoration she has under it. It's just obviously an eggplant, but I don't know what it's used for, but it's cool. This is a painting of just lily pads that my sister had done in acrylic, and I copied in watercolor. And then this was my last day in Sarasota. I went to the airport, and they have this Mote Marine Aquarium, has a really cool aquarium set up. They're a laboratory, and they help manatees and sea turtles, etc. But they had an aquarium in the airport, and so I sketched that real fast before I had to go through security. And then these are all from my house. I think I won't do that. I'll keep this about Florida, and we'll visit that later. Anyway, that's that. I'm back home and trying to get into a routine again, and just dealing with life after losing my father and traveling so much, and I feel like I don't want to be on a plane again until, I don't know, at least for another year. So I'll try to settle in and get some stuff done and posted. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.